Hello everyone, Storm101 here. Today we'll be talking about a 2-day severe weather event. It will begin today at across parts of the Southern Plains and eventually overnight into tomorrow it'll be the southeast. It's got to watch for the potential for some severe weather out here. And for some places there could be some significant severe weather involved as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the SPC outlook here. So we got two areas that enhanced. We got one area across pretty much the Oklahoma-Texas state line up into Oklahoma City area or the Interstate 40 corridor. Then you got another enhanced risk for East Central Texas, Central Louisiana, Southern Mississippi, into Southern Alabama. That's a big change in the SPC forecast out here. I believe on the last update there was only a marginal risk, and now it's been upgraded to enhanced risk. This is an area that I am concerned with not only for severe weather, but also for flooding as well. This is an area we need to watch it for possibility for multiple rounds of severe weather that could have a chance to produce all hazards, which include damaging winds, large hail, maybe even for a couple tornadoes out there. And one of them could be strong because that stormative helicity is going to be very high out there. Now, moving on to Oklahoma and parts of Texas, this is going to be more of a supercellular type of event out here. Even includes Eastern Texas as well. We'll have some discrete cells, which we actually do have some discrete cells out there right now. Uh, but these are the storms that can produce a very large hail, damage winds, and even for a couple tornadoes. If I was a storm chaser today, I would probably target this area right in here, southwestern Oklahoma, just because of all this convection out here. There's going to be too much going on. Also, there's a lot of trees out there. So I would probably target southwestern Oklahoma. It's also, there's going to be a triple point as well. You have a warm front, you got a dry line, and you also got a cold front in that same general area. So let's kind of take a look through some modeling here, and this is the HER model, which is doing good so far. And as you can see here, as we continue on throughout the rest of the evening, you got a lot of storms around. If this is going to be correct, for places across eastern Texas out here, your severe weather chances may actually be lower. This is We have some absurdities out here. We got a slight risk for some of these areas, and some other areas it's an enhanced risk. But if we're going to see something like this here, widespread convection, there's not your severe weather chances goes down if you're going to have widespread convection, because all it's going to do, it's going to make the air more stable. So that's something we need to monitor there. And as we continue on into the evening hours, check out a couple of these supercells across parts of northern Texas. These will eventually be moving into southwestern Oklahoma, and eventually those actually may become a pretty organized cluster of thunderstorms. You can see right here with that organized convection. Meanwhile, Louisiana's getting tons of rain with probably some mixed severe weather. I don't think we're gonna see. I mean, I disagree with the HER model showing some pretty strong storms in northeastern Texas because of all this convection. The air is likely going to be staying a little bit more stable. You can see here how that convection kind of dies out. And then check out this Boeing segment out here. This is an area we also need to monitor, and we got an enhanced risk for the wind, which I actually forgot to show you guys the categorials here. Uh, so this is the tornado probabilities. We got a 10% chance for really anywhere from just southeast of Lufkin, Texas, for Alexandria, Louisiana, just north of just north of Mobile, Alabama as well, with that 10%, where we're going to have a stationary front type of situation here for all that convection. Damage winds will also be there, but check out that significant risk for southern Mississippi and southern Alabama. Not kind of goes along the Florida Alabama state line too, so that's an area we need to monitor. Then hail risk, most of your hail should stay across central Texas and southwestern Oklahoma, especially for the significant hail probabilities there as well. And so let's kind of move on here. And check out what's going on out here. Kind of off the screen here. Let me actually move it to about right here. So check out what's going on out here. You got a cluster of thunderstorms right here and another cluster right here. If this verifies here, we can see some very large hail, some damage to wind, some of it could be significant, and also for some pretty large hail too. Let me check out some of these thunderstorms, showing those magenta colors. That's like in decibels, like 60 to 65. So that indicates either very heavy rain or just some pretty large hail within some of these storms as well. And we'll check out the storm weighted velocity here. So this kind of gives me an idea of your tornado probabilities here, your storm weighted velocity. This is where you kind of get to some of your rotating thunderstorms as well. So let's check out the storm weighted velocity here, and you can see here pretty high numbers, at least in the morning. All you need is 150. We got values up to 700 in some places, so pretty high numbers here. Uh, it we do expect some more storms to develop somewhere out here, I believe. Let's actually go back to this view, and as you can see here, hold on a minute. Let me switch my view here to the southeastern United States here. So this is kind of going into tomorrow here. While that loads in, let's check out day 2, which is tomorrow. We got an enhanced risk for severe weather across central southern Alabama, southern Georgia, northern Florida as well, which includes places like Savannah, Georgia, Dothan, Alabama, Columbus, I believe that's Georgia side, Birmingham, Alabama, uh, and even for Tallahassee, Florida as well. Primary threats, there is a strong tornado risk as well for some of these places here. We need definitely keep an eye on that. Now, some of this, a good chunk of this is probably going to be in the morning. You got that 30% across southern Georgia into far southern South Carolina and far northern, kind of going along the Alabama Florida state, actually Georgia and Florida state line. And also, here's your hail risk. Got a chance for some very large hail across, really back across most of Alabama and eastern Mississippi and southwestern Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. Having a chance for some significant hail, where we're gonna have some of these strong updrafts across some of these areas in here as well. And that slack risk does expand all the way up into eastern North Carolina as well. We have some uncertainties up there as well, which I'll show you guys in a moment. But kind of going back to the HER model, you can see here, it's kind of backed off a little bit here. It showed more convection up across northern Alabama and northern Georgia, and even for upstate South Carolina as well. It doesn't really show that anymore. Just interesting in my opinion. We'll probably try to get a sounding up here to see what's got up here. So we'll go to northern Alabama. Yeah, not a good sounding here. Plus, you got very low storage to velocity numbers, so this is not favorable for severe weather by any means here. I mean, you got some cape out there, but again, not really that favorable for severe weather. Also, a very flat hodograph as well. Not really that favorable for some severe weather. Although that D cape number is actually 777 as well, which that could lead to a damage wind for some of these storms, which does show some thunderstorms moving into that area by the evening hours. But check out all these thunderstorms, especially this cluster. Wow. Southern Georgia into pretty much in the morning hours, well, late morning into early afternoon hours, getting multiple waves of severe thunderstorms. You got new storms that form out here, but with that storage to velocity numbers pretty low, at least for some places it would be low. But you can see here, some of your better storage to velocity numbers are actually up into South Carolina here. And the High-risk NAM actually shows a little bit of a different story on this as well. We'll quickly check out the significant tornado parameters, and really only a 2 and above is considered a significant tornado. 1 and above, you kind of have a tornado threat here, and you can see here for most areas generally it's only a 1 to 2. So, but within some of these supercells like this one up here, a 5.4. That's nearby one of the supercells, and this is a little bit of a cherry-picked sounding. Looks like it's pretty much all over the place here. Story to felicity number is pretty low, so I think that's a glitch right there. But it seems like the environment's not that favorable for tornadoes. But it looks like when you get to the overnight hours, looks like it kind of increases across southeastern Texas, northern Louisiana. I mean, kind of along that boundary there where some of those thunderstorms. Check out the sounding here. You got quite a bit of CAPE here overnight. You got decent amount of story to felicity. Your energy helicity index is elevated. You got a good hodograph, a good critical angle number. So this is a pretty good sounding here, and also that D CAPE right here. Right down here. This kind of indicates your damage wind threat here. I believe that's what they call damage draft CAPE. Uh, you see it's 815 there, so that would you'll definitely have a damage wind threat. It could be significant as well. So this is definitely something we got to monitor here. Now, most of these storms are actually be QLCS type tornadoes, and typically these are short-lived and also weak. But sometimes you could get a strong tornado. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes you can. But we still cannot rule out a strong tornado somewhere in some of these places in here. So that's just going to be a little bit hard to tell. You can see with those good significant tornado parameters does go into parts of the Florida Panhandle, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. Eventually it'll get into southern Georgia as well. So we'll check out this the significant tornado parameters here. I guess while that loads, we'll check out the high-res NAM here. So this is for later today. And you can see here, so far, it's doing okay too. It's got a bunch of thunderstorms going on across over Texas. I mean, compared to what's going on right now, it's actually doing good. Checking out this verification here, it's actually doing pretty well. It's actually got the storm cluster down across southeastern Texas correct. With all this light rain going on out here, that's going to spread. This is going to be moving northeast here, so for some of these storms out here, it actually may get involved in with some of this a little bit more stable air, a little bit out ahead of it. So that's going to be something we got to watch for. And then you got this other bullseye over here. Well, not bullseye, but another area to watch. You actually got a pretty good storm by Childers, Texas. That'd be the one to monitor here. That actually may become a supercell later on today. That's actually got a pretty decent opportunity. Looks like it's already trying to rotate on the southern end there, so that's quite interesting. But if for anybody that's in this general area in here, we actually do have a tornado watch across these areas in here. We gotta watch for this area. I mean, these areas probably the better opportunity for very large hail. Uh, I mean, damage ones will be a little bit lower. It's higher when these become more linear or more of a squall line. And also, you got better tornado threat opportunity, which includes Lawton, Wichita Falls, Vernon, Buck Barnett, Altus as well. So those will be the areas to monitor later today as well. So far, the harvest name is actually doing good. So let's check out and see what it's got. And you can see it actually starts to show some significant storms, possibly across southeastern Texas out here. Let me change this color to pink. And then, like I said, becoming more linear. It's actually a little bit further south on the high-res NAM here. You can see here, then it just kind of bows out right there. That's going to be a storm cluster to watch for, kind of along the Texas and Oklahoma state line and a little bit north as well. And as we continue on to the overnight hours, it's not it's not that impressive. It actually shows it dying out, so that's a big difference than what the HER model was showing. But I mean, if we kind of compare the models to what's actually going on, it seems like both of these balls are actually doing decently well. So it's gonna be pretty hard to tell which one's gonna be correct. So there is some uncertainties. And it looks like the store prediction center is probably going to follow the HER model for now, just giving them that enhanced risk upgrade on day one. And so that's HER's NAM. Let's move a little further east here. This is actually outdated. Go ahead and load that in real quick here. So that's definitely quite interesting here. We got two different solutions, and it's going to be happening in less than 24 hours. This is going to be quite a tough forecast if we're going to have that much model uncertainty here. Her model shows severe storms, and the other model shows dying storms. And that's a big difference there when you think about it. You see, these storms just completely dissipate. That's crazy. Uh, but then later on in the day here, if that's going to be correct here, that actually brings a pretty favorable environment, a little more favorable environment for the Carolinas, northeastern Georgia, because that stuff is out of here. These storms will be leaving some boundaries behind, and with these boundaries here, some new storms will form along those boundaries. So we gotta watch where those boundaries are gonna be. And then it moves off the east coast later on. But you can see here, check out all these storms here. Some of these could become supercell storms, but you also see here it starts to become more linear, so that'll decrease your tornado threat. So we do have some uncertainties with the setup here, but it's something to monitor for right now. We'll check out the significant tornado parameters here as well. I know this is quite a large view. Let me actually move it to South Central US. This is not the only severe weather setup we got to watch here. While that loads, let's quickly check out the next couple days for the SPC outlook. Sunday, no severe weather expected across the country. That would be a similar situation for day 4, which is Monday. Things start to change on Tuesday. We got a slight risk for severe weather across eastern Kansas, central Oklahoma, and back down into south central Texas. And this has actually been going on since day 7. And models are kind of downtrending a little bit on this setup here. And this can also be a multi-day severe weather event. I mean, for Tuesday here, it'll be these areas right in here. Then Wednesday, it'll be these areas right in here. And probably Thursday, it'll be further east here. So it's going to be a multi-day severe weather event here. But I'm also been kind of backing off on this multi-day severe weather event. It was actually more impressive a couple of days ago on the models here. And there was a pretty good amount of an agreement as well. So this is definitely something we're going to monitor here. And all hazards are possible with this setup here. And day 5 is really the only day we have pretty good confidence on. The European model recently backed off. But we'll see if it jumps back on board to a pretty good severe weather setup on the next run tonight. So let's go back to the high-res NAM. So this is the significant tornado parameters. A little bit more impressive here. You can see here it's got some better numbers out here, but it's not that widespread. Let's go to a little bit more of a reasonable area here to pick a sounding. And as you can see here, you got a pretty decent photograph. Wow, that critical angle number. I've never seen that high before, a 105. That's very high. Story-to helicity numbers, up to 250. That's actually good for severe weather. Energy helicity index, that's also good. Good amount of cape. Downdraft cape, however, is 1,041. And when those storms become linear in this area here, damaging winds will probably be a problem. Uh, talk about a lot of wind varying and height. Wow. Check, that's crazy right there. So This is definitely something we got to monitor here really close here. That's a pretty good environment here for really all hazards. Really. Uh, you can see your mid-level app rates is quite elevated too. So that's actually a pretty good sounding in southwestern Oklahoma there. And big difference here. If the highest name is correct here, we actually have a much better environment for severe weather. So let's move this to the southeastern United States here real quick using a high-res NAM. So again, a lot of uncertainties here between these two models here. These two here are probably the best models to use in the short range. Yeah, check out these significant tornado parameters. That's pretty high. Again, you only need a 1 for severe weather. Well, actually for a tornado threat, I should say. And 2 is a significant chance. And we got numbers as high as a 6 in some places. And if I were to take a average box sounding in here, it's probably going to show something like this. I'm going to take a random sounding out here, and you can see here. If the artist name is going to be correct, you're talking about better opportunity for some strong tornadoes and supercells out here. Storm rate to Felicity numbers is pretty elevated. Energy Helicity index, some pretty high numbers. Got a little bit of wind varying at height right here. Pretty good hodograph out here. Critical angle number 57. Pretty good amount of cape. Downdraft cape 894, so that would be favorable for some damaging winds. So this is another good sounding here. We also got quite a bit of an elevated mix layer in the mid levels as well, which that's going to help that cape out there. So definitely something going to watch here. Now there's a chance this could be overdone, but if we, go back to the reflectivity. Okay, that's not what I want. So if we go back to the reflectivity, so you can see here at first here, you may have a couple supercells here and there, but they eventually go more linear as well. So that kind of decreases your strong tornado probabilities if that's going to be the case, if they're going to be becoming more linear. So there's a big difference between a supercell, what it can do, and a squall line. There's a big difference between the two, especially for tornado development. Supercells will be your better opportunity for strong tornadoes, but a squall line will be a better opportunity for, it's going to be more for weak tornadoes. So we have some uncertainties on Saturday, but either way, there is going to be a severe weather threat across parts of Alabama, Georgia, Florida, even up into parts of the Carolinas as well, especially in the morning. At least that's what's indicated by the HER. But we'll see what the 0Z models will show later tonight. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked this video, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications whenever there's an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I want to say, before I end this video, I do apologize for no uploads for the past 2 days. I was going to do one last night, but the internet was not on my side. And that was also another reason why the night before, internet was terrible. But today, the internet is much better. So, at least it's better able to post a video today. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.